Today on Fast Food. I've booked a land gig in Arizona, so I'm flying to Arizona, where at least two people I know live who are interesting enough to be guests on Fast Food. Juggling legend Dan Bennett and one of the few people ever to witness my first cruise ship show live, and all-around super positive person, Doreen Aurora, join me as I break a 3-day fast at Matty G's the night before my 10 a.m. show.
I'm gonna need a cigarette.
Several burgers and other fried things replenish my glycogen and fat stores, plus new show segments entitled Choke on Your Dessert, and jugglers in cars getting exercise while starving. It's a cream-coated, heart-clogging, joke-filled, finger-pointing, cholesterol-laden final few months in a COVID-19 free world episode of Fast Food, starting now. Okay, most of you performers know the drill. Get to the hotel, drop off all your luggage, and whip out your balls. Only this time I've whipped out my balls and clubs while waiting for Dan Bennett, who apparently will make house calls in Arizona. I always check the peephole first to make sure there isn't a gun pointed at me. Hello, Dan. Welcome to the Jason Garfield Creative Suite Studio. Come on in. This is legendary 10-ball wimpy pattern garbage thrower Dan Bennett. I've known Dan for over 20 years. He's a founding member of the World Juggling Federation, former landlord of mine, and I didn't start wearing women's underwear until I started living with Dan Bennett. More on that later. Maybe. Let's go to the gym. And we're heading to the gym, so this segment will now be known as Jugglers in Cars Getting Exercise While Starving.
I'm all about the comedy, baby.
Don't call me baby. Have you eaten today?
Just had a small, I had like a little, really like no carb protein shake, just to have something to get in my system, because I don't
why do you emphasize no carb like that's a good thing?
Well, I mean, it's like super low sugar. I just had a little bit and so I wouldn't go crazy doing my show. I get lightheaded not working out. I don't know how the hell you do that. Who could not eat for 2.5 days and do a show? Jason Garfield.
And by now I'm sure we all realize this camera's auto exposure works just about as intuitively as its autofocus. But look how smooth my skin looks. You know, some YouTubers set their exposure this high on purpose for this very reason.
The idea that you do this is amazing to me. Don't eat for 2-3 days and then do a show?
Well, I'm here to amaze you. So you had a protein shake?
I had yeah.
Okay.
I might have had a couple of blackberries.
You might have. Wow.
Okay,
how are we going to find out if you did or not?
I did have a couple of blackberries. All right. Seriously, what's the longest you've gone without eating? Is it 4 days? 96 hours?
100 hours.
Wow.
Is my record.
That's a freaking amazing. A serious question: are there calories in sleeping pills?
Wait a minute. You have not been asking serious questions up until this point?
If I'm going to do what you do, I'm going to do as many legal cheats as possible.
No, I don't use. Yeah, I do use.
Okay,
the
Tic Tac is cheating,
actually
right?
okay.
Okay, so like if you took a bunch of I don't know, Dramamine,
amphetamines.
If you took some pills, there's no calories in a sleeping pill.
No,
right?
I don't think.
Because if there are, you got to count them.
Yeah, you do.
All right. So I read somewhere, and it's probably true. You can't taste something without swallowing it. Is that really true? Like, is it possible to get the satisfaction in your brain and not swallow food? Is not really possible.
If I had like a big lump of shit right here and you licked it, do you think you wouldn't taste it? You can smell it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I dated a supermodel who was really into that. And she was doing so well, and then I took her to In-N-Out, and then, whoa, went right back to world ways.
I knew it was a joke right from the moment you said you dated a supermodel. So we're going to eat at about 5:30 tonight. Right now it's about 11 a.m. Are you planning on eating anything between now and dinner? Do you think you could make it until dinner?
Yes. Some days I will have one meal, and then very small, nibbly things, like I said, a handful of blackberries, protein shake, but not any real food that gums me up. And, I'm losing little pounds here and there. Have been for the last couple of weeks. I find it amazing that you just eat, boom, one thing a day, and then maybe not for 2 or 3 days. That's still impressive that you can do that. I've not converted all the way to that.
I want to see what you mean by nibbly and little pounds.
Okay. You've taken to it in a way that's unique and interesting.
Yeah.
And you really are fit from doing it. And you've...
Well, it's either that or do a lot of cardio, and I don't want to do a lot of cardio. So I used to do low carb, high protein, and then 2 hours of cardio, 2 hours of weights, and then my juggling practice, and I got really lean doing that. But that's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
All you have to do is nothing, and you lose the same amount of weight. What is your number one pet peeve at the gym?
When I see people doing really stupid asymmetrical exercises with one dumbbell, they're swinging it wildly and they're doing twisty motions. I can't believe it. And it's like, I swear people, they think they know this kettle workout, and they got one arm swinging a kettle. I'm going, that cannot possibly be good. Like their lower back is twisting stupid. And I go, you deserve to not be able to walk after this workout.
What is the problem with us that it bothers us? Because keep doing it wrong, that makes me better than you, right? So why do we care if they do it right or not?
I don't know.
All right. What's your #1 pet peeve at the airport?
Oh, okay. But by far, I can't stand it that people, they fly a lot. I don't know how they can't negotiate walking down the aisle and putting their stuff in the overhead bin. And then getting off, they can't get the stuff out of the bin. When the plane, I walk on, I can walk right then, boom, overhead, sit down. I don't take more than 3 seconds to negotiate my bag and the seat. Nope, there's always some guy with his ass out in the middle of the aisle, bent over, like he's like rearranging his bag before he puts it overhead, hanging up everything. Then he turns around, oh, sorry. And there's 50 people with their eyes half closed like Peter Griffin from the Family Guy. That I hate.
I have the reputation of being the angriest juggler in the world. And so far, between doing an episode with Ivan and Dan, I have proven the world wrong, yet for some reason the reputation stays with me.
There's like a 12-foot wide aisle, and they feel a space-filling curve, meandering, you cannot get around some people. They got crap on their sides, they're wheeling something. You can't get around them. And there's 20 feet either side, but they manage to block everybody just by their stupid walking patterns, speed, turns.
There's walking serpentine patterns.
They're just stupid. They look at everything.
What about the baggage carousel?
The guy that stands right at the beginning where it drops off, so he just can't stand for his stuff to go around one time, and he's blocking everybody.
Don't you think that if they drew a circle around the baggage claim about 6 feet from the actual baggage carousel, so that you would have to stand there and only if you see your bag can you cross that line, don't you think more people would be able to see if their bag had come out?
Yeah.
All right.
It makes me insane how a hotel, say in Vegas, they have a big buffet, you're going through it, and they have a taco bar. They all have taco bars, and the worst mistake that anyone can make at a buffet line is to put the shells first. Nothing pisses me off more than a guy who tries to balance his plate with his thumb and his pinky and then make taco holders out of the other 3 fingers, and he takes the shells and he dresses each taco in line. No! Get all your crap on your plate and get the shells last. Make your damn taco in your booth. I hate that about taco bars, is everyone gets the shell first. And they're making their taco in line, behind, and people they go, God, will you just grab the shell, grab a slop of everything, and then make your taco at your table. That's like my...
Fortunately for Dan, COVID-19 was only 3 months away, and with that, the extermination of taco bars and buffets as a whole forever.
And they need a big bouncer at the beginning that does not let people go the other way.
They should just put the shells at the table already.
Shells are at the table, even better.
What do you think of the irony of making everybody use tongs? No, having everybody sanitize their hands before they come in, and then allowing unlimited access back to the buffet after they've eaten at their table, stuck their fingers in their mouth, licked all their tacos off of their fingers, and then they go grab the tongs.
Yeah. Oh, that's another one, yeah.
I don't see a workaround for that, though. There isn't. As the world would soon learn, we all must stop buffeting. I mean, that's the only way to do it. Otherwise, so I mean, keep that in mind. When you're touching the tongs, you're not being clean. It's like going to the gym. You're touching the same equipment that everyone else. You're only as clean as the dirtiest mother in that room.
Right. Yeah, I hadn't thought of it that way, but yeah. You see
Another prediction? The end of gyms for these very reasons. But for now, the obligatory gym scene. Leg extensions. Dan didn't want to do them, so only I did them. Then we go to squats. I did a lot. Dan didn't want to do them, so I do them. Okay, I tried once, he say, so he try and not do it right. So I try to fix because his knee's going out in front first, which is bad. So I'll just teach how to sit into a chair, which we all know how, but for some reason when we squat with no chair, we forget how to sit in chair. Like, think about if you're gonna sit in a chair, and then he'd be like, oh wait, I have to do something not in the chair, and then don't sit in the chair and then get back up even though chair not really there. Okay, and then I do lunges. Dan does not because he thinks his knees might explode from old age, so only I do the lunges. And then we move to bicep curls and strap bands around shoulder bicep insert point, so I keep all blood in biceps and it gets very painful and scrumptious, and I do 4 sets like that and end in a lot of pain that looks like this. Dan decides not to do that after watching me, but I get him to try 1 set of barbell curls and then we leave. Hey kids, don't try this at home. Do it in a friend's car. Back in the car after the workout, trying to get a shot of Dan not talking.
There we go.
Proving to be more difficult than it sounds, so let's just cut to him talking.
You hung out with me all those years when we'd run and I would give you vocabulary lessons. You remember those days?
You taught me the word pugnacious, and then I used it on a customer service rep, and he told me to speak English. Because he was being pugnacious, so I told him to stop being pugnacious and be more professional. He's like, sir, please speak English. Irony, I'm not sure how much of my show is still kind of hacky. Like dropping a ball and saying, if I got it on the first try, you'd think it was easy. I don't think I made that up. That's standard hack kind of stock
There's so many
material,
things
right?
that are so obvious and natural that they might sound like somebody's drop line.
Yeah.
You may have thought of it, but it's just so thinkable that everyone thought of it.
Now we've made it to Matty G's, a popular burger joint in Uptown, Mesa, and this location in Scottsdale, where tonight the owner, Matty himself, will be handcrafting and smashing our burgers. I'm joined once again by Dan Bennett and a friend I met on the very first cruise ship I ever performed on in 1998, dancing girl turned mama, restaurateur, food fanatic, encourager, domestic violence advocate, Doreen Aurora. Aurora.
Okay, now I'm nervous.
Aurora? Aurora.
Oh,
Hello?
okay. This
And of course, you first have to slate each take, but if you don't have an actual slatey thing, a hand clap usually does the trick.
was a slate. I wasn't applauding myself.
And if at least one of your guests starts off with mirror neuron empathy, you're off to a good start. Also helps to ask ahead of time if they have any maintenance work scheduled, or you might end up shooting a silent movie, or worse, a really noisy one.
Doreen, I met in January of 1998, I think it was, on my first cruise ship. It was the first show that I had done on a cruise ship, and it was the first time I had done that show. So you saw the absolute worst performance that I have ever done.
It was good.
Well,
It was awesome. We were all tripped out by you.
no, but seriously, explain to me your experience watching my worst show ever.
It's weird though because
It was bad.
no, it really wasn't.
It was
no,
so
oh my
bad.
God. Oh my God. No, it was awesome because we'd never seen anyone like you. And you're on a moving ship. I can't even throw one ball in the air and catch it. So the fact that he could do what he did on this moving ship, all of us were in awe. It's freaking awesome. So it's kind of weird to ask that question because you're like, it's the worst, where I'm like,
I have video of the show.
oh my God, show it.
In my opening, well, I don't have it here, but in my opening, I did a 3-ball routine. I did a neck catch. When I flipped the ball up, it went 10 feet behind me. Because I was so nervous, I forgot how to do everything. So there were tons of drops. There was a plant that I had in the audience that I could not find. So, let's see, let me, who thinks they can help me out here? Anybody, say no, not you. I'll tell you what, there was a guy I was talking to earlier. Can't seem to find him, but he looked perfect. Maybe, that is him. How about you, sir? Would you like to come up and help me out? So, do you remember the knife throwing routine? I didn't actually throw knives. I set up the volunteer to make him think that I was gonna throw knives at him, but he's in on it, so I talked to him beforehand. So I take him through the whole thing before the show, and then he sits somewhere in the audience, and I'm so nervous I'm not paying attention to that. So I have to remember what he looked like. And so I'm looking through the audience, and I don't even know what he looks like, and I'm just hoping that something jogs my memory. I see a guy, and I'm like, maybe it's, but I mean, if it's the wrong guy, the whole thing is not gonna work. And so the whole time I don't know if it's the right guy until he hits the first cue. Right, so up until that point, I'm basically shitting my pants because I don't know what the hell is gonna happen. And it's my first show, and I want it to go well. And I'm glad you don't have any memory of it not going well, but
You're like nervous and doing this.
It was just awesome.
thank you.
It was just fantastic. We were all in awe of you.
all right, well,
Yeah, so sorry.
I was hoping to get some
I
sort of,
can't talk trash about you. I can't.
Keep complimenting. I say he doesn't smile enough. Make him smile.
so here's where we are right now.
Is that the clock?
66 hours, 56 minutes. I'm waiting till 67 just
So
because
Do you still work for Holland America?
I do not. In fact,
Holland America.
within that year, I was fired from Holland America for the same show that you saw and have not been back since.
Why?
My contracts were canceled after that. It was actually so early in my career, I actually cried on the phone when I was told that my contracts were canceled. I'm like, well, they don't like me? So it was a horrible show. I agree with them. It was the right decision. He said, go somewhere else and work on your show and then come back. He was just lying about the come back part. But I went to other cruise lines and
But don't you feel like they aged, and I love Holland America, but the age of the passenger
I do really well with old people.
Okay.
You'd be surprised how inappropriate they are. I have old ladies put balls in my mouth. Let me rephrase that. I have old ladies put my balls in my mouth.
Wait, you need to rephrase it again.
I think so. I think you have to rephrase it.
Before I spit them out? What else is there to say about that? Dan lived in LA for several years.
What part?
20 years.
I lived in Encino.
Encino. I actually lived with Dan for a little while. But then he moved to Arizona. He sold the condo, the only home that I ever knew in LA. And the new owners will not let me stay there when I visit LA. So now I have no free place to stay when I'm in LA. I convinced my ex-girlfriend to start living at his place just so that I had a place to stay.
That's actually true.
So she kept it. She kept it for an extra 5 years. But now that's gone. He lives here, and that wasn't really a question. I just wanted you to know that. I didn't start wearing women's underwear until I started living with Dan.
That's actually true.
I did not need to know that, and now I can't stop asking questions. What in the world? Why did that happen?
So we kept a spare key in the garage because we'd go out and run and we didn't want to have a key with us. So we would punch in the code, we'd go in, get the key, open the door, and go in. So I went out for a run, just assuming the key would be there like it always is, but there was one of these weird occasions where someone took the key to make a copy and no one told it and didn't put it back, so there's no key, so I'm totally locked out. So I went for like,
I'm out of town.
You're out of town. So I came back from my run. I had like a 1 hour run in LA. It was hot, I'm sweaty, and I've got no change of clothes, of course, so now, and back then I thought I needed to eat something right after I ran. So I'm locked out.
So many questions, go on.
So I called a friend of mine, Chris Pendleton, who also works on ships, and she lived in LA. And I couldn't get in touch with you at all. So I had her come pick me up. So she picks me up, I take her to her place, but I want to take a shower because I was gross and sweaty. So she had spare clothes. So I had to, I guess I didn't have to wear her underwear. I could have just not worn her underwear and just worn pants or something. But that didn't happen until I started living with Dan.
So now he has to insist that he didn't start wearing women's underwear, started living with me, which is true. But when you connect those two statements, it sounds like
It's
I'm
correlation,
Sounds like you
not
guys had something
causation.
going on.
Exactly.
But it is causation. It's
yeah,
both.
kind of. Correlation is not causation.
It's both.
The implication is that somehow, like, hey, Jason, look, let's walk on this wild.
Now I know how it would go down if you were the one
If it did.
proposing it.
I at one time was going to be a lawyer. Then I got into. I was seriously considering being. I am such a geek. I studied chess like a madman. When I was young, I followed Bobby Fischer. Then I got into mathematics. I was full on going to be a professor, and I did comedy on the side. Not great comedy. I do jokes, but I juggle a lot. I was much more of a technical juggler.
10-ball flash.
Yeah, I can do some stuff. But over time, I started teaching in school. I was going to be a professor, studying my doctorate, and I started doing jokes in the class, and then I kind of found a voice. And all of a sudden, I got a chance to a cruise ship. It just landed in my lap. I have to do it. And then about 2 years into doing that, I was still halfway going to be a professor, and I realized one day I woke up and said, no, I'm an entertainer. Opportunities opened up, and I didn't have to think about it. I go, I have to do this.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Your Facebook page is full of encouraging, empowering words, and your kids. When I sent you the trailer for fast food, it was like an Anthony Robbins motivational workshop. You were so encouraging and supportive. In some ways, I was like, is this a real person or is it a bot that's just been programmed to be so like a motivational bot? Where did that come from? Have you always been that way? And what would you say to someone that's clearly chosen the wrong path?
I think I always kind of had that. Like encourage people, get excited for people. I think I've always had that, and I've always loved artists because I started dancing when I was like 6 years old at a dance studio. So your brain works different. You get excited about a juggler. You get like, oh my God, how did you do that? Nobody can do that. It's not like, no offense.
I think most people are, why do you do that? That's usually what I get.
Cool. Really? Do you get why?
And the better you are at it, the more confusing it is that you spend so much time getting good at that.
I like to encourage people, go off the path that everybody tells you to. When you go on social media or you go online, everybody's so freaking negative and mean and rude, and there's haters, and they say the most disgusting, awful things like cesspools of people behind. And then you get on the other side and you go, okay, I gotta go help people. I gotta go help other women. Like, you have to go help people and go, the f***, you don't have to live like this.
It's exactly how I feel about the gym. I feel...
What are you talking about?
I mean, maybe
you don't have to be fat.
Maybe the trauma is on a different level, but for me, in my experience, it's way up there. It's like the worst thing I've had to deal with is watching people work out incorrectly at the gym. Why do I care about people I don't know improving their form? Like, why do I care if they hurt themselves or if they do it right?
Because you're a human being.
But I don't think it's.
You want everybody to be okay.
I don't think it's that magnanimous because I think I just hate seeing things done wrong, and I just want people to know what I know and do everything right. So
we'd help him if he collapsed. Let's just put it that way. But we're not going to.
Would you ever interrupt someone and go, "Excuse me"?
Oh. God.
Well, I was just going to say.
Have you ever done that?
Well, just girls. But they're the only ones that I genuinely want them to stay healthy. But that's for other reasons. It's also selfish. So. But what I've found with myself, and this may be an argument that I am a good person now that I've kind of demonstrated that I'm not, is that when I've been watching someone do something completely wrong, like it makes me want to set a better example. So I actually work out with better form. They remind me of, the level that I'm trying to set for myself.
Okay.
Sometimes, very rarely, they'll notice that and they'll ask me questions. Okay. And then I'm more than happy to help them and teach because they want to learn. Because most of the time, people don't want you to tell them the right way to do things. I worked in a gym for 4 months, and I was a personal trainer. I got 2 personal training certifications.
You had to have been.
Even with that, people don't like being told. Like they like to do it the way they're doing it. Not as many people are open to it's criticism. You're basically telling them they're doing it wrong, no matter how nicely you put it. So the ones that are open to it, I'm ecstatic. Oh, you want? I love to teach this stuff, and if someone's willing to learn and listen, then I'll talk to them for hours. Bob Mendelsohn has been a thorn in my side that I have ignored for several years. However, one thing that I can't get over is how entertained you were by his stupid little quips when we go to Denny's after our post-juggling mortem, sessions. You found him so hilarious, and I don't understand why. What did you find so goddamn funny about him? You kept on telling him he needed to be Conan O'Brien's Andy.
Oh, I remember that, but I think he brought it up. He was a good sidekick guy. He was like he would just say stuff after somebody else. I thought I laughed at everything probably too much. I got told that a lot, but I laughed at people's jokes even if they weren't funny.
Have you ever seen Jack Calvin not smile?
No.
All right.
You know who else has the biggest smiley face?
Jeff Damon.
Jeff Damon! I can't believe you pulled that out. And do you remember what you said to him after one of his performances when he...
What the hell is he so happy?
Yeah,
goddamn, that was a happy son of a bitch.
Yes.
Are we going to order some food?
Yeah. I just want to make
I'm I can't even hang out for like 7 hours without eating. I'm dying right now.
Consider this next time.
Okay.
Getting hangry, for me, only happens when I expect to eat and then it's delayed.
Well, I didn't mean to not eat for 12 to 13 hours. It literally was.
Right, so you had this expectation, when can I take a break, when can I eat?
I'm thinking I'm going to eat and then, that didn't, okay, wait.
But if you had made a decision to not eat until the next day.
And I mentally made that decision.
You mentally prepared for it. Hanger might not have come into.
No, that makes sense because it's a state of mind.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think the mind's super powerful. I get that.
Yeah. Well, my mind is. Let's order
Only
something.
Jason.
All right, and assuming all of you watching have fasted for at least the past half hour, it's now time to food. We have the red car, 2 steak burger patties, grilled Ortega chili, pickled jalapeno, cream cheese, lettuce, tomato, and house spicy ketchup with sweet potato fries on the side. The Field of Dreams, which is super spicy. 2 steak burger patties, ghost pepper cheese, sauteed mushrooms, pickled jalapeno, and chipotle aioli. On the side, deep fried jalapenos with scalding cream cheese lava goo, the Texas Ranger, 2 steak burger patties, grilled pastrami, pepper jack cheese, American cheese, ghost pepper cheese, Swiss cheese, Matty G's fry sauce, grilled onions served on Texas toast, and the Butterbean. I'll explain what this is later. whatever we're talking about here really doesn't matter because Dan just took his first bite after starving himself for at least 3 hours.
Hang on, even with the marshmallow on there? That one's super yummy, right?
Oh.
I love that one.
6820.
So you started a plant-based diet when?
About 5 years ago.
Apparently, I think you show food to a camera the same way you attract the attention of a cat. Here, kitty, 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 jalapeno popper. Now watch closely and see if you can tell when I realize I seared the roof of my mouth with scalding melted cream cheese lava goo bursting out of the jalapeno popper like a recalled flavor of tidal wave bubblegum.
Stand outside. Okay. Is it hot? Which one did you grab right now?
Mm-hmm.
Deep fried jalapeno? The cream cheese?
Yep,
Okay,
still
so
on the same jalapeno popper. It's liquefying me from the inside out. If you can't handle this appetizer, you definitely won't like Ebola. Now this thing is magical. Starting with a ham, salami, turkey, and American cheese sandwich on Texas toast, then deep fried and topped with powdered sugar and served with raspberry jelly. This is like a French toast, ham, salami, turkey, American cheese sandwich. It's like your dinner, dessert, all wrapped up into one.
You're losing your mind with that, aren't you? Is that the best thing ever?
How is it? It's like a Monte Cristo sandwich.
It's so much better.
That looks amazing. What an interesting...
It's like deep fried French toast donut, really good cheesy sandwich in the middle of
It
it.
is donut, like, yeah. You go to sleep, and you're going to start your fast in the morning, but you count that time from the time you stop eating, right?
Sure.
But then what about the next night when you got to go to sleep?
Yeah, that one's a little harder.
I was going to say,
That's
is
the
it
one.
hard each time? Like, are you expecting to go, this is going to suck?
It depends on how excited and motivated I am for what I'm doing it for. So like it was easy for me to do it for this
Excited.
because I was excited about this.
Got
So there was no way I wasn't going to do it. There was
Got
no
it.
chance that I was going to crack.
Right, instead of like saying, oh, I'm so bummed out, I can't have this right now. Instead of going, but the end goal, am I excited about it? No, but then you also said, because I watch you, did you talk about longevity and lifespan?
Well, I got to try the Texas Ranger here. I haven't tried this yet.
And I want a piece of the Butterbean.
Okay. So,
I know, right?
Are you kidding me? Wow.
I'm sorry, I just think this is fascinating. How many calories do you have a day? Do you count it or you don't? You just eat when you're hungry. Do you drink coffee? He's so dedicated.
He's unbelievably good.
Unbelievable.
He does stuff that very few humans can commit
That's
to.
what I need.
But I've known, he's just, you can transform your body and spirit and soul very fast if you commit to it. And he has. I know it works. I just
It's
go,
amazing.
I get up and I can probably talk myself into not eating, But I typically have, you know, I love berries. I have blackberries, blueberries, strawberries. I usually have a handful of those in the morning. Maybe not too much until the afternoon. And I will do the concept of it, but not like 1,000% that he does. And you still will get great benefits. It just won't be as fast.
Right.
And
Yeah, well, I'm impatient and I hate cardio, so let's talk about that.
The no cardio part is a big attraction.
It really is. How do you feel right now?
I know a lot of people do that.
Like,
Well-
does this like, do you feel it automatically? Do you feel like, ooh, it's fried or like something like that? Like, do you feel weird?
No,
It's not normal.
I just
You know what I mean?
I
Because
just
my
feel like I
natural
started
right?
eating again. But it's weird because I wasn't hungry. So, I mean, I have room for it.
Can you
but
think good when you're not?
I can think
Can you
well.
think clearly? So shut up.
Where should I take a bite of this? What would be the most camera-friendly place to... Ah, yes, the scraps hanging off the backside of its tushy. Well done, food show host.
Is it nuts that you ate for being vegan? For protein.
Beans have protein in it, rice, pasta, tofu, soybeans. Think of it this way. An ox is very strong and very muscular, right?
Yes.
All right, it's a vegan.
So is this swole kangaroo that just eats grass and stuff, but I'm not here to proselytize.
So here's what's weird is that you're killing the animal that eats the plants that you could eat to look like the animal.
Say that
So
one more time.
you're killing the animal to eat the animal that eats the plants that you could be eating to look like the animal.
I was a single mom, super struggling, 2 kids. I temped at U.S. Foods in California. And they said, hey, here's a card. You should go sell food. I said, I don't know anything about food. Half the time I'm trying to avoid it because I'm fat, right? So I went, okay. I go apply. They give me this job. Then I end up doing this. And then I end up getting a job where I have to walk through where they're killing cows. And I was like, oh my God. It was freaking disgusting. I loved it. I made a lot of friends. I learned, but I went to all the...
Human friends.
Human friends. I know. But like I would even go to the places where they have like, you know when they have the meat hanging like in Mastro's and they have like this dry age, so nasty, so freaking nasty, it smells so bad. I shouldn't say that, it's great.
I wanted to get the deep fried Oreos for dessert. Is that
Oh my
a
God,
possibility?
yes, it's all day. Okay, deep fried Oreos, ice cream, funnel cake fries, and that's frozen custard and whipped cream. I know, so we can dip it in there. Super carnival food.
Is this something I need a fork for, or do I just...
No, you can just pick it up.
There's a new segment for fast food called Choke on Your Dessert, where I attempt to make people laugh while they're eating, and if we're lucky, they choke on their dessert. Here we go. Go ahead, why don't you enjoy your dessert, Dan? Have a bite. All right, great. So, I've been studying Trivial Pursuit cards, and one thing I learned is that the most rewatched movie in history, a movie that people have watched this movie over and over again more than any other movie, it's actually a documentary. It's called Living with Memory Loss.
Have you dipped this in here yet?
This is really good.
Yeah,
That
this is a
cream
deep fried
is that
Oreo.
cream?
yeah. I wrote a book on reverse psychology, but I don't recommend it.
As you both know, we were gonna go to Alien Donuts today. They were actually closed today anyway, so it wouldn't have worked out. I emailed them, find out, and they emailed back. And they actually formed a partnership with a local surgical clinic. And so they emailed me a coupon for 6 donuts for the price of 12 and half off open heart knee surgery.
Oh God.
My girlfriend broke both of her legs trying to learn the river dance. And she went over a waterfall.
Not funny, not
Come on,
funny.
that's hilarious. I don't know, why do they call it the ladies' room? Every time I go in, there's just a bunch of angry women swinging purses at my head. Hardly ladies.
I've been juggling my whole life. I get way more excited about juggling than I do about women. My psychiatrist diagnosed me with projectile dysfunction.
I can't trust my girlfriend. I know for a fact she's cheating on her husband. I was born with a broken arm. Trying to hang on till after the wedding.
Wait, what?
One technique that I teach new clients, I tell them when you swallow and the food stays in your mouth, you're full. Stop eating.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of what I do these days requires me to use my body to keep my balls from hitting the floor.
Wow, my
When I was young, I thought I was a man trapped in a woman's body. Then I was born. I was right.
What?
I finish each meal by eating a full box of salmonella wafers. Damn it! Should have waited for you to eat them. This question's for both of you.
Oh God.
What would it take to turn you gay, and have I already done it?
Wow.
We saw all those undies back in Los Angeles back in the day.
No, so I've already done it.
What about the Siamese twins that moved to England so the other one could drive?
I think that brings this episode's segment of Choke on Your Dessert to a close. I think we failed. We got the timing wrong. Nobody actually choked on a dessert, but we did finish them.
A few times. What? What?
I'm full.
That's good.
And now the fasting timer starts over at
Okay, wait,
0.
wait,
That's the most
wait.
depressing part of
What are you
it.
talking about? What do you mean you're gonna start fasting again right now?
Well, everyone starts fasting when they stop eating.
I know, but like
It's how long you
fasting
go.
For how long? Like mine could be 15 minutes, and I'm gonna go.
I'm probably gonna go till tomorrow night. Oh, it's 7:30. Okay, so I've got 14 and a half hours before I have to fit into those pants.
So it's not hard for you to see like all the food and everything that's on there, and you're like, nope.
No, it becomes a spectator sport for me. Like I'll go up to the buffet and just see what they have there, but there's no chance I'm gonna eat anything.
I would watch you watching like commercials and watching food shows
Oh yeah, I do that.
when you're fasting. I would watch you, and I was like, how is he doing that?
That's the only time I enjoy those shows, when I'm starving, because if I've just eaten something, I don't want to look at food. But if I want food, then I'll look at food.
But you know that you can't have it for at least another 24, 27, 30
It gives me
hours.
ideas. It gives me something to look forward to.
That's incredible.
And no matter how much I look forward to it, by the time I have it, it's never as good as I thought it would have been a day before.
It's like prom.
Just like prom.
But I could eat, like I could live at Cheesecake Factory.
Oh yeah.
And I could eat cheesecake all day long. It's my favorite thing in the entire world to eat.
You know, each slice is about 1,500
Yeah,
calories.
it's amazing
I know.
how big, how much. I know, it's crazy.
It's my favorite thing in the world. That's what, if I could eat that all day long, every day, that's all I'd eat.
You maybe burn, conservatively say 1,500 calories a day?
I have no idea. I gained 28 pounds in the past 2 years. I just keep eating.
Schedule a photo shoot and make sure that you can't change the date and you're paying for it, so there's some monetary incentive to get in shape for it, and make sure it's not something that you can cover yourself up with, so you know you're going to be on display.
Like a bathing suit?
I did some photos. I did that before and before that.
Oh, where's the desserts now?
Well, he knows me pretty well. I have a hard time getting a joke past to me.
Dan Bennett wins the Choke on Your Dessert Joke Award for tonight. Unfortunately, we were out of desserts. Let me take this opportunity to thank both of my guests for being on fast food. Doreen and Dan,
Yay!
I would like you both to take this opportunity now to tell everybody what you have going on in your lives. This camera, this camera, this camera, this camera, go!
Go, Dan.
Well, aside from being a performer, comedian, entertainer, I actually am working on some mathematics projects I've been doing for 30 years. I'm working on some infinite series and stuff related to the Riemann hypothesis. It's been a fascination since grad school. So I do that kind of as a hobby when I fly, when I've got downtime. And that's pretty
That's
much.
what you do on your downtime?
I do mathematics. Sometimes I play racquetball. I do workout.
This is so impressive.
Not as crazy as this guy, but racquetball is kind of like my favorite.
Racquetball and time travel, that's what Dan's working
That's
on.
freaking awesome.
That's what I got out of that.
Cardio, I think.
I also help out with domestic violence, helps other women that are going through it, got out of it, all that good stuff.
And now that you both have been on fast food, two
Yeah.
questions. How have your lives changed?
I am so looking forward to not eating.
This was really fun.
Oh, good.
And I realized that I'm kind of boring. Now I'm interested in plant-based diet. I mean, again, because it's been a few years. I did it when I was pregnant. And now I want to get your book. I want you to tell me how to lose these 28 pounds.
This book and series of videos is a masterclass in exercise and nutrition.
How long do you think it would take me?
28 pounds?
I can't fit in
2
my
months?
clothes unless they stretch.
2 months. I will give you all the information that if you use it, you will accomplish that goal.
You promise?
Pretty fast. I promise if you follow it, it will work.
Okay.
I can't promise that you will follow it.
No, that's up to you.
Perfectly. One question I forgot to ask is, what is your most memorable moment living with me?
Wow. Oh, I do know. Okay, I used to hear him practicing in the living room downstairs and swearing and getting mad because he's dropping stuff. And I used to sit in the hallway in the I had a 2-story condo, and I'd sit in the hallway, the stairwell actually, so he couldn't see me, and I would peek in. And you used to do that.
Kind of creepy.
You used to have,
Kinda creepy.
this belt thing where
I
you
didn't
catch
know.
things. He would stand juggle and he'd catch things in his pockets on the side, and it's
That's
and he would,
funny.
and it's kind of an old Spanish thing, and it was so unlike Jason because he's so macho, and this is like this kind of dancing thing he's doing, and he would miss one, and he would just get so mad, and I used to laugh hysterically.
Oh my God! You
listening
had
to
entertainment in
practice.
your own
And
house.
I think I told him that eventually, but he had no idea that I used to laugh my head off listening to you practice. It was so un-Jason-like to see him doing that routine. Sometimes it come down to
Sometimes.
Yeah, you can do
you're doing it
that.
to the music, you know.
And you're watching this like.
And he would practice that, and I just couldn't get over that. There was something unbelievably funny about listening to him practice when he was getting so mad. I used to love that. Fuck! It's like hilarious.
Okay, well, food's over, bedtime is over, and now I'm off to do the earliest show of my life, 10 a.m. I don't know who's gonna wake up to watch this, but I'm ready, so here we go.
I still fit into my performance pants because, you know, I didn't eat any fiber at all yesterday. It was just fat, carbs, and protein.
Balls and clubs and apples.
That's right. I do an eat the apple routine now.
And so now, with about an hour to spare, I'll continually confirm that I know how to juggle until I'm called to the stage, what we in the business call warming up and preventing cool down, because you never know when you have to be ready for a juggling emergency. You always have to be completely warmed up and ready to go. And of course, the final stage is to get the muscles pumped and the veins popping out of the arms as much as possible, because when you're a juggler, you always need to be thinking of what else you can offer the audience, because sometimes juggling and humor just aren't enough. Well, sometimes my juggling and my humor just aren't enough. I don't think we really need a recap, but here's a nice in memoriam montage of this episode scored to YouTube-approved music. See you all next time from Las Vegas and Los Angeles for
Zang 2 Corona Rising.